It's good to be back.
Hey, man.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 153 of the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. Not with me. He's usually with me, as always, is Brian, but he's not here. He's got stuff to do. We'll see you next week. But we do have the White Rhino over there in the land of enchantment. How's it going,
I'm
Rhino?
fucking pissed, dude. You stole my line. That was supposed to be my line.
Nello's with us. How you doing, buddy?
Another day, another dollar.
That's good. But, you know, it is kind of weird. We typically run with 4. But today, we're just going to have to rough it and go with 3. I hope you guys can survive. Oh, wait a minute. Look who's back.
Hello, everybody.
You know what would have been perfect for that is like Stone Cold's entrance theme. That would have been so perfect for that.
That would have been some copyright issues for sure.
That's okay.
But
We would have paid those fines.
Would have been good. I'm glad you came up with that for the hour I sat here doing notes.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really fitting. That's what we walked out to for our wedding.
That's right.
I mean, my re-debut back to the Alter Ego, at least for today.
That's right. Because our darling angel's finally
She's so
deciding to
sweet.
sleep.
Yeah, she's so sweet. And we started.
She crossed the writer's strike picket line. She's a scab.
Yep.
She's a scab.
It's true. Speaking of the writer's strike, Rhino will tell you everything that these words stand for, but the AMPTP reached out to reopen conversations with the striking actors and writers.
Enlighten us.
So I'm not an expert on this stuff because it's a lot different than the union that I'm a part of. But from what I understand, you have the Writers Guild, which are the actual physical writers. The group of people that reached out to them would be the people who represent the studios and the executives and the bosses who actually are paying the writers. So they are the ones that kind of put their extended their olive branch out to the writers and said, hey, let's reopen this negotiation. Let's talk again. What do you want? We will listen. I know that negotiations fell apart kind of about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and they stopped talking for a while. That's when all the picketing and everything was happening. So hopefully we get some good news out of these meetings they have planned over the next week or so.
I bet you cute little coffee shops all over Southern California were the most awkward places to be.
Why is
How
that?
could you walk in and order your chai mocha latte when you know Shia LaBeouf is over there
Shia LaBeouf
ordering his coffee at the same time, and they just look at each other and they just start going, No West Side Story jokes? Okay. All right, moving on.
No, we got it. It's just
I got it. I just didn't know where you were going.
I don't, whatever. Okay, guys, work it out. I was going to start with Marvel, but I think we're going to push that to the back because I want to talk about Secret Invasion today.
which is
I'd
Marvel.
like to talk about that one in depth, right? So we're going to go to DC first. They actually have some decent stuff to talk about in DC. I'm proud of them.
big shock to me.
I mean, more often than not, it's all a letdown, and this is kind of, I guess, sad news, but it's interesting. Aquaman underwent a 3rd round of reshoots. Is this James Gunn, or what do we think this is?
Can I play devil's advocate with this for a moment?
Someone
Sure.
needs to.
Because I would like to remain positive on this particular headline, and here's why. Aquaman 2 was filmed under the regime of the DCEU,
Yeah.
right? We all knew that. We all knew that it was going to get kind of mashed into James Gunn's universe. I would like to believe that this is James Gunn seeing the final product and saying, fuck everything that you're doing right now. We're going to change this, and this.
So many moons ago, we had a story about Aquaman, Jason Momoa, coming from DC Studios, reinvigorated, super excited to be back with DC. And we all kind of collectively made the assumption that it was possibly about Lobo. Do we think it could have been about these Aquaman reshoots?
I would have to say that makes a lot more sense now. You know, it makes a lot more sense that maybe James Gunn came in and said, listen, this is what I want to do. And he got excited about that. Like he didn't like the original version of his movie.
Right.
And then saw James Gunn's version is like, let's go. It's going to make it so much better.
Nello's got it pulled up, and it does say that James Gunn is the one who ordered these reshoots. That is incredibly promising.
I mean, it's good, right? Because that means he's seen that DC was trying to release another whopping pile of crap. And he's like, we're not going to take this turd. We're going to paint it gold and make it shiny so that people will like at least pay for, you know what I mean? Because obviously Flash flopped, Shazam 2 flopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I'm a little out of the know right now with like pop culture and shit. Did James Gunn like come in mid project? Did he like came back mid project? Okay.
There was a couple projects, yeah.
Yeah, and he's come in before Flash obviously came out. He's actually part of the DCU before Shazam 2 came out. So he's been playing a lot of cleanup over there at DC. And you know,
I think they had three major projects that were either in post-production or in the midst of production when they announced that he was taking over the DCU.
Yeah, and
that
Blue
was
Beetle's
Aquaman
as well. But I think he's got his claws deep in Blue Beetle, though.
Yeah.
What if these are just like they're reshooting to like follow this timeline that he's going to start?
It's very, very possible.
Which is fine. That's perfect. I hope that's the case.
Do we have any faith in DC though?
Well, no, but I'll say this, and I don't want to talk too much about Marvel, but Guardians 3 is out on Disney Plus right now. If you have not seen Guardians 3,
watch it.
It's incredible. It really is.
It's my favorite.
To me, the only movie that tops it is Endgame. And I know that's high praise because I love a lot of these movies, and Endgame is by far my favorite, but I just loved this ride that we went on with the Guardians, and that was 100% an example of James Gunn getting involved and putting his own vision and his own style on relatively unknown heroes. And by this point, by the time Guardians 3 has come around, we've got 2 Avengers movies that they're in. We've got a holiday special. We've got all that. At this point, they're no longer unknowns. The Guardians are well established, and then he comes in with Guardians 3 and still crushes it. So at this
the best of the franchise, arguably.
Yeah. And honestly, of all the franchises that have multiple movies, Ant-Man was close, fell completely. Iron Man was pretty good. I did not really care for Iron Man 3. Iron Man 2 was still kind of So, I mean, overall, obviously, Tony Stark, Iron Man, we love him. Captain America, that's probably the strongest trilogy.
Stronger than Spider-Man?
Well, in terms of MCU, yeah, in terms of MCU.
So I think it's kind of I mean, I know we've had this argument before, but I feel like it's mildly unfair to even say that Endgame is, because Endgame is literally like the end chapter of a 22 movie streak.
Sure.
So it's like when you're putting it up against that, it's so, and Guardians is obviously kind of its own story. Now, if you, I won't go into anything because I don't want to spoil anything. So this is
we've already spoiled the shit out of it.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the end in a sense to this sort of trilogy.
Yeah.
But it's I feel like it's unfair to even like put it in the same category as Endgame.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I just, that's just the kind of high praise that I give Guardians 3.
Sure.
When we saw sides of those characters we never saw ever with anybody, especially with Star-Lord looking at Groot. It is burned in my brain when he looks at Groot and goes, kill them all. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Shit just got real.
Yeah.
The difference for Guardians 3 for me, like Endgame was obviously Endgame, but it didn't really become emotional for us until the end of Endgame.
I don't know. I cried the whole
Guardians 3 was emotionally captivating literally from the jump. The first 2 minutes of that movie, and when you see Peter Quill drunk as shit because he is heartbroken over Gamora, like the whole movie is emotionally captivating. There's not one MCU movie that does that for me personally. I'm not saying other people, but for me personally,
I agree.
There's not one that does that.
Yeah,
Guardians. I don't know. Guardians, I felt like I was kind of like up and down with the emotions in the right places, but Endgame, I literally cried like start to finish, like the whole movie.
I only cried when Sam was like, on your left.
Oh,
and I was like,
I got hyped when that happened. Yeah, when Tony died, that's when I cried.
I cried.
Tom Holland's
I don't know.
and then
Thanos' sacrifice of Gamora was pretty rough.
Yeah. Yes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It was rough for sure.
Him crying while he was doing that, I was like, oh my god.
Widow and Hawkeye trying to fight for who's going to jump off that ledge was pretty epic.
Yeah,
too.
but Yeah, but the Gamora
Yeah.
Thanos thing was in Infinity
Was in
War.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, I
consider
don't know.
that
So,
one
so
big
this is all
action
circling
movie.
back to James Gunn and his impact on the DCU.
I have faith in James Gunn. I do. I have faith in that he will turn. I'm not saying he's going to make the DCU what the MCU was, but we've seen what he can do with characters that nobody has any idea who they are.
Anything.
And he's already introduced, not introduced, but he's already planning on introducing characters that nobody knows who they are in the DC world either.
Let me ask.
40 and stuff like that.
Let me ask this: is Brightburn a James Gunn movie?
Is that one with that kid?
Yeah,
That's the kid where he's got Superman powers. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. That's the one where he has Superman powers, but it's
a
horror movie.
Is it out?
I don't know.
Oh
man.
yeah,
It was coming out on like Hulu or something, wasn't it?
Who's the director?
Oh, that was like 4 years ago that movie came out. That's been out for a while.
4 years ago. But
Yeah,
it was
but I
definitely
think this was a
recent.
James Gunn vehicle. You
Let
can
me
go
see.
into
Hey, hit me with the Google music.
Hey, if we need a movie to watch tonight, well, maybe not. Well, I don't know.
No,
I'd like to
David
sleep.
Yarevsky. Why do I think that?
Yes, produced by James Gunn. Produced by James Gunn.
There we go.
Yeah, produced by James Gunn. Yep.
Ooh.
So for horror movies, this one is actually not bad. I'm not a huge horror movie fan
At all.
This one wasn't bad.
Right. So that right there already tells me that James Gunn is going to do a lot with this. If he's producing that, and like that is already, what is it, the Elseworlds that James Gunn is trying to make, that's not DC canon. This kind of shit, Brightburn, that's Elseworlds, man. Superman gets gets rescued by the family, but he ends up being evil. Ooh, boy.
So I'm not gonna spoil anything about this movie. I'm just gonna say there's a scene in Brightburn that will make you go like that, just like that, exactly like that.
One more time. Can
I
one more time. Just like that.
How many people are going to pause this YouTube video and zoom in on your camera right as you make this?
That'll be the snippet, by the way.
That'll be it. Anyway, oh my god! All right, so Ben Affleck's movie that was scrapped, the Batfleck movie, was going to cover 80 years of Batman mythos. So was he going to be old man Bruce Wayne? Like, I don't know.
No, so from what I understand, they were going to pull aspects of every different era of Batman.
Oh,
so his Batman story would have had different aspects from different eras, basically.
I would have called this a masterpiece in cinema if he would have done the old school Adam West Batman and Robin in the middle of all that hardcore shit.
Dude.
Come on, Batman. That little means if you slip on a banana peel, you break your neck. We need to get down to the cafe now. And they all go running over there.
That would be incredible.
I would love that, man.
I'd be like
he punches somebody and then like pow shows up on the screen.
It would become one of my favorite movies of all time if they did that, especially coming off of Batman whooping wholesale ass and that thing when he's trying to say Martha. When he's fucking going in there,
say Martha,
say Martha, and Batman shows up and is just passing out ass whoopings, and then
that's one of my biggest disappointments in comic book movies is his movie getting canceled.
Yeah,
like because
I think he would have done a phenomenal job.
I will die on this hill when I say that he is the best Batman we've ever had.
You're out of your mind.
Ben Affleck?
Michael Keaton.
Yes, he is the best Batman we've ever had.
Yeah,
if you combine Bruce Wayne and Batman and you look at the entire spectrum, he's the best Batman product we've ever had on screen.
I'd say Christian Bale is pretty good. Robert Pattinson,
get out of here.
So they're different. We've had this argument. They're different types of Batman.
They are very. She's right. They're very different. But I'm talking about in terms of the entire picture because he was Bruce Wayne to a T.
Guys,
but Pattinson was for me. Pattinson was for me.
Batfleck was Bruce Wayne to a T. Handsome, debonair, swagger.
For
he
sure.
also beat the brakes off of people.
Yep.
His action sequences are probably the best Batman action sequences there are.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Batman 2, where he's in the Penguin's lair with Catwoman. That's amazing.
Okay, and
dude, that warehouse scene from Batman versus Superman.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still on the.
I think it depends. There's this is one of those arguments. There's been so many of them, and at this point, you can literally say, "What was the best Batman by looks or action or whatever. It's like at this point, there isn't just one good Batman. They all have their own like perfection.
You're not wrong at all.
And I would not sit here and rightfully say anything negative about Michael Keaton. I'm not that kind of guy. I love him. I think he's great.
No, Nipples was the worst.
Who's the worst?
And I love George Clooney.
George Clooney. George Clooney is by far the worst.
George Clooney was the worst.
Mainly because his depiction of Batman was trash. Like
I would take an entire trilogy of Val Kilmer now as Batman.
Mind you,
over George
Clooney movies. Because they were entertaining. But now that I am older and know more about Batman, and I'm not just like, oh, this movie's on, I'm going to watch it because it's on cable. And that was like 12, 20, however many, I'm not going to age myself. A lot of years ago. I like
that was like 6 years ago.
But if I'm to sit down and actually put all the Batman together, he is the worst.
George?
Yes.
That's not
fair. No, Battinson's coming in first for me for what I like out of my Batman.
I mean,
what
I can see you saying that. I actually appreciate that because knowing you and knowing all of the things that we've ever talked about with comic books, I can see you saying Battinson is your favorite, which there's a very small niche with Battinson where he is a lot of people's favorites. So I agree with that.
The detective, his reality of being Batman, not
like that noir aspect.
In the Bat jet, in the Bat bike, he's riding out there on a fucking Kawasaki in the middle of Gotham City with his bat suit and his backpack.
He's a billionaire
in an alley and beating your ass.
He's got a better bike than a Kawasaki.
Do. So I feel like it's a different era of Batman. It is a younger, much different version of Batman. It's a less experienced Batman.
Unstable Batman.
Which is perfect.
Yeah.
So,
shit, I want to watch that now.
Pattinson versus
the only reason why I said Bad Flag is just because I think if you look at the entire spectrum, overall,
and I actually agree with that because Pattinson was a not good, in my opinion, Bruce Wayne. I did not like him as
was not.
I thought he was too much of a baby. He didn't lean into being Bruce.
He was too emo.
Right.
Too emo.
But as Batman, I 100% dug that. I was down with it. Last thing to talk about for DC, man, we had some good conversations about DC today. I think we're trending towards the excited for DC train. Gal Gadot is developing Wonder Woman 3 with James Gunn.
I'm okay with this. I would like to see Gal Gadot return as Wonder Woman. To be honest with you, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Who can you see playing Wonder Woman right now?
Who's writing this movie?
Who could I see playing her right now?
Right now, yeah.
Well, I don't know. If Wonder Woman were to ever utter the words, Big Mike. I'm just kidding. Not Sandra Bullock. I wouldn't see that. No. But you know what? Listen, there's a lot of times where we've looked and said, this guy won't be this actor. I would love to rewind time and get people's reactions when they heard that Mr. Brokeback Mountain himself was going to be the Joker. And everybody was like, this is going to be terrible. You mean the 10 things I hate about you, Heath Ledger?
And then,
this guy can't do shit. And then
that's actually exactly what I said.
That trailer with that one laugh and everybody was like, oh shit.
And they just showed the opening heist scene. They didn't even show his face as the Joker until he said the whatever doesn't kill you makes you stranger, and then they cut and then you heard I was like, oh
I was
shit.
Like what?
Yeah.
So if we take
can I ask this question real quick? Just real quick. I apologize.
As soon as Nello's done with his point. Yeah.
Go ahead and finish, Nello. I apologize.
If you look at the two movies that Gal's been in, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1 was great. Because it was written correctly, the movie was good.
I don't know if it's great, but yes.
Well, it was. It's one of the better DC things they've brought out there. Wonder Woman 1, it's got to be one of their top 5.
I will accept your opinion of that.
Now,
I agree with Nello.
Now, 2, Wonder Woman 2, whatever the hell that heaping garbage was just they took Cheetah and they destroyed that character. They made her weak. They didn't make her as strong. They didn't make her as good as the comics and on her lore. And then they misused Dinklage. Like that whole
Cheetah's not a really powerful character, Nello.
Sure. No. But here's the thing with that.
She may not have powers like that, but her and Wonder Woman is one of it's Batman and Joker.
It is.
You're not wrong, but I mean, Cheetah's not.
That's their arch nemesis.
I get that, but Cheetah's not going to take on Superman in a fight, right?
I mean, I never said she was the strongest.
Just answer this question. Would Cheetah take on Superman in a fight?
I mean, she would lose, but
has she ever in the comics?
Because Wonder Woman would take on Superman in a fight any day of the week.
could she win? Maybe if she used the lasso, but if she doesn't get the lasso on him,
Okay, we're drifting off here, but that movie suffered from having an A-tier
COVID.
cast. It suffered from having an absolute A-tier cast. Because if we're gonna sit here and say that Pedro Pascal's a bad actor, what are we doing?
no, I thought the writers.
Kristen Wiig is fantastic in everything that she does, and exactly, that was just terrible direction and writing and stuff. From
the writing was
MCU.
awful, absolutely awful. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like this one. I'm not really too hyped for the Wonder Woman 3. I know people say, oh, who else could play her? I'm sure there's someone out there that could do a badass job as Wonder Woman. No disrespect to Gal. I'm not like, oh, thank God. Because if you looked at me right now, oh, okay, I'll kick it up a notch. You ask anybody in this room, I will bet you $100 if confidentially DC came to you and said you only get one back, Gal Gadot or Henry Cavill, who you take?
Henry Cavill, hands down, not even close. Henry Cavill.
Come on, what are we talking about?
Also really
This is what we have left now. This is like we're scraping at the bottom of the barrel and we're getting down.
So I will say, at least until like Aquaman, because he looks very different than the Aquaman that we know from like comic book lore. I feel like Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, not that he was a bad cast by any stretch of the term, but I do think that those are kind of like typecast by physical typecast. Like I feel like Gal Gadot looks like Wonder Woman. She looks exactly like Wonder Woman.
Sure.
Rhino's about to argue with me.
She's got more of the exotic.
How
She's
does
a
she
little
not
more,
look
yeah,
like
she's a
Wonder
little bit more
Woman?
exotic.
Right.
She's, the brown eyes.
I mean, Wonder Woman's a white woman.
When you look at that poster right there, you don't. To me, I don't see Gal Gadot.
Isn't she? It's Greek mythology based, right? It's that Mediterranean.
Wonder Woman is a white woman.
So she's not really white.
I had to look around.
Jesus
Christ,
Christ!
Gal Gadot is not a white woman. So I mean,
She's from Israel.
Jesus Christ was a white man.
I wouldn't call Israelites white women.
But I mean, okay, she's tall. She's incredibly fit. Tall
What?
is a key.
I know.
Gal Gadot's tall.
What the?
Whose argument am I?
I almost dropped it again. No, I'm sorry. I don't
okay.
mean to cut you off, but
Sorry.
like, what the did you just say? I'm sorry. One more time. Just repeat it.
I'm gonna sit back and let this happen.
You do.
I said I wouldn't consider Israelites white women.
Okay, done. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You would? You would?
Yeah,
Why?
but I don't.
Where is Israel? Where is Israel, Nello?
Right. It's in.
Let me ask you this, Nello. Do you consider yourself a white man?
No.
Okay. Well, then, case closed. No
I always
further
put
questions,
other.
Your
I always
Honor.
put other, and when they ask me a gender.
Then what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, so let me get this straight. So
What's
she's not
happening?
white.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we're not going into the whole
No, no, no.
race.
All right. Okay, we're done. We're good. We're good. We're
Right.
good.
It doesn't fucking
No,
matter.
But
Okay.
what I meant to say was she's still part of that whole olive skinned whole like the Greek mythology type thing. That
Sure.
whole that's the whole point. They're not white, they're not black, they're just islanders, I guess you could call them.
Sure, right. So when Maui shows up and they all go to turn the heart back to Defeaty, we're gonna have a great time with fucking Wonder Woman 3. Let's do this.
Is The Rock in
Shall
that
we?
too?
God, I hope so.
Hold on.
As part
Hold on.
of the DC. Oh, sorry. What?
I'm not done.
Okay. Oh God.
I was explaining myself with why I feel like Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot, however you say her name.
It is Gadot. I thought it was
Sure.
wrong too.
Is it officially Gadot?
She's very tall.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is tall.
She's healthy.
She's healthy.
She's healthy.
She's
She's
brunette.
healthy.
Okay.
She's brunette. She's very pretty. Like
Yeah.
that's why I
mean,
feel
by
like
those
she was-
standards, I could play Wonder Woman.
You
Well-
are beautiful.
I am a tall brunette and I'm very pretty.
And very busty.
All right.
No, I get what everybody's saying. I would not ever say that Gal Gadot is not a good choice for Wonder Woman.
No, I would not say that either.
From
I
the
would not.
prior
I wasn't saying that
iterations
either.
in the
I wasn't
previous
saying that.
movies,
I love Gal Gadot.
I'm not like jazzed up that she's working on this movie
In like
with
normal
James Gunn.
ways or like weird ways or
You know, climb the rope in gym class ways. That being said,
So they're not
let's-
going to recast all of them then. Right?
No, they're not. Just to Henry Cavill and Batman at this point. Whoever they're going to be replacing the Batfleck, because we've already heard that Robert Pattinson is not that guy. You're not that guy, buddy.
You're not that guy, pal.
That being said, let's talk a
But you
little bit
wouldn't like
about
it if he was. You
gaming
like that
before we
darkness.
shut the
Okay.
fuck up. before let's talk about a little bit of gaming before we go to our first break of the day. For Christ's sake, Nintendo Switch new console coming out in 2024. This is one of the things we talked about in the hidden episode 153 that we recorded and it didn't go through. Right, Noah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had audio issues last week, so sorry about that. We fully recorded an episode and then when we went to export it sounded terrible. But
it's so bad.
New Nintendo Switch 2024. Excited? Not excited?
Don't care.
I mean,
extremely excited.
Excited, sure, but like, why? Why do we keep needing new things that are the same? Like,
Right.
they're not even just different; they're the same.
I mean, she's right.
I haven't heard anything about this, but I haven't heard anything new specs about the new console. But if it's another handheld jobber, I'm happy for cheap Switches. You know what I mean?
Sure,
That's true.
that's true.
I
asked this question in the group earlier. What's different about this compared to the OLED? Because that's one I got.
Right.
But that's the thing. It's like same thing with like Xboxes. Every other year we buy a new Xbox. I'm not against it. It's a thing that we do. I mean, we've been together 10 years and it's just a thing that we do now.
Like we're not
that's
getting
not the point.
But no. But part of that tradition is to out loud say we're not getting the new one, and then we walk down to Best Buy and see it and go, oh.
I mean, hold on a second. Did you get like 3 new Jeeps over the last 8 years? Be quiet, God.
And no, over the last 11 years, yeah.
Okay, well then let my man get his Xbox. God.
An Xbox or a motorcycle. So
Yeah,
which
'cause
one do
we
you
did
want?
Get the new motorcycle. Anyway,
Both of which combined still cost less than a Jeep. I'm just saying.
Well, the Jeep drives my family around. The other two don't do any of those things.
well, this is fun talking about NCAA. I know
happened?
this
I
is
thought we were talking about the Switch.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. There's nothing different than it's not an evolved.
I agree. If there
No,
isn't anything physically different about it, then what's the point? I do agree with that 100%.
They can't
Are we going to
charge
buy
you-
it? Yes.
They can't charge you $400 if it's not a different system.
Right.
The difference between the Nintendo Switch we have now and the OLED is that it's a better handheld screen and it has
Sure.
more storage.
Bigger screen. I mean, that's why we all buy
Right.
new iPhones every year. So what
But
the hell's the difference?
This has to be
Well,
a completely new system.
To me, I didn't give a shit about the OLED because anybody who's ever seen me on the Switch knows it's on the TV anyway. So
Yeah.
why would I buy the better screen?
I actually play majority of my Switch on the handheld. That's why I got it.
Then it makes sense
Yeah,
for you to get it.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But this new one, like you don't need bigger processing power unless your game is going to be that much bigger. But
Yeah.
Nintendo is not something that is known for going with realistic, breathtaking graphics like Xbox and PlayStation or PC.
Unless they want to get
So-
access to AAA games.
Well, at the same time, they've never cared.
Like
and they've
Zelda?
always been the consistent
That's their only one.
number one. It's the number one game.
I'm not
It's
arguing.
the
on that.
best-selling game of all time, though.
It's probably going to win Game of the Year, and Nintendo is just over there going, "Hey, enjoy the fact that looks like the grass you got outside. Here's Link putting his sword through new machines, and people lose their fucking mind."
My thing is this: if they're coming out with a Switch 2, this is what would make it appealing to me.
You are
Give
bad.
us a better user interface. Give us a better Nintendo store.
Yes,
Give us all. I'll buy that shit
Storage?
all day if that's what you're giving.
or
Well, no, I
yeah.
mean, I was saying and storage. Like, did you give like a bigger?
And storage, yes, and
Yeah.
storage, 100%. Yeah. If you give me those 3 things, I'll buy it first day.
Honestly, the user interface is one of many small creature comforts that makes Xbox so much better than anything else.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But
Yeah, I don't
let's
know
talk
about
about this. I know we're not a sports podcast, but they've announced NCAA college football will be out in 2024,
So
baby.
that's pretty cool. And that's going to be like because of the what was that thing? The
NIL.
NIL. Yeah.
NIL, yeah.
So where like they're actually going to get paid for this shit stuff.
My
Things.
biggest fear is that all they're going to do is just make a carbon copy of Madden and call it NCAA
please don't
because
do that. Please don't do that.
And what,
EA.
you're just going to be able to play the characters that you want, and that's really the only difference.
No, you'll just be able to play as your team, but it is that was the
they
best.
were 2 completely different games back in the day.
Totally.
They were 2
fundamentally different.
completely different games.
Well,
NCAA was
they'll hear
better
about
than
it.
Madden.
They'll hear
1,000
about
times
it.
better. 1,000 times better.
I don't want them to take a
They're
Like,
still going to use that template.
Madden
You know that. It's an
college.
EA tablet. I mean, it's the EA
Well,
template.
no, I get it's the same engine. I get that. It's the same engine. It was still back in 05, 06 when it was at its height. Still 2 completely different games.
I mean, let's just hope it looks better than last year's Madden, because last year's Madden was probably
I don't care
the
how it
biggest
looks.
piece of shit.
I don't
that I've
care
Is
ever-
how
it
it
being
looks.
released by the same?
Yeah, it's EA.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
EA,
well,
yep. EA
speaking
Sports.
from an IT world, I can tell you it's probably going to be very similar.
Yeah, for sure. And we know that. I mean, it's always been similar, but the college football entity has always been very, very different. And it's been gone for so long. So for it coming back, I thought that was pretty cool.
If you didn't have a 7-foot running back that weighed 350 pounds in NCAA 05, you didn't play the game right.
I didn't play the game right.
You know, you and me are going to be playing. Right?
I did not play the game right. I always.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, but it's cross.
Yes, it'll be cross, and
Nice.
he's going to lose at least once.
Out of 1,000.
At least once.
At least one time. And
Least
one
once.
victory is all I
You heard it
need.
here.
All I need is one. All I need is one time.
Discord is now going to start allowing people to stream their gameplay directly to Discord. I think that's pretty cool.
I don't understand why they didn't do that
with
before, like with that Twitch model. Like, I don't get it. Why are they just now?
Well, first of all,
doing it?
Twitch sucks. Twitch is not a fun place to be anymore. It's a lot of ads. It's a lot of super popular millions of views streamers and a couple of people who come on and annoy you when they go live,
which draws a lot of toxicity.
So,
you know what else has made Twitch really awful is OnlyFans models.
I'm sure
23, baby.
You get people who are, and I'm not trying to speak poorly about anybody, but you get a ton of people who are on OnlyFans who will go to Twitch and they'll pick up a controller and start playing the game awfully just to promote their OnlyFans. It's like, if I'm going to get on Twitch, I want to see somebody playing the game.
The girl you're talking about started on Twitch first, doing what you're talking about, and then went to OnlyFans because she makes more money there. I know who you're talking about.
I'm sure a lot of people do it. I don't really care about that. I just hate the 1,000 ads you have to watch and the way that you have to be zoned in and watching it. Like, we have a Discord for Alter Ego. I have another Discord for video games and stuff like that. So if we're playing and you want to watch, you want to hang out, you want to talk about it, we can just drop the stream in chat and all be there. And that's just I think a better platform. I'm interested to see how it's going to work, how it's going to look, how the audio is going to work if you get game audio through it. But Discord is going to be dominating. If you're not on Discord right now, you probably want to look into it. No matter what gaming console you're on or whatever kind of social media app that you like, Discord's kind of one of those ones that's still kind of pure, right? You can just talk to your friends if you want to talk. You can join a group for whatever you're interested in. For instance, I got a huge Marvel Snap community. I check all the updates that go on for that game and stuff like that. Right now, Discord's kind of where it's at. And
you can cross-platform communicate on that too, right?
Yes.
I didn't know if you said that or not.
So when we played Diablo the other day, we had somebody on PC. Rhino and I were on Xbox, and Dum Dum here joined, but he doesn't realize he needs a microphone and doesn't.
I don't have Discord downloaded on the PlayStation yet. I haven't done it.
We did get Nicholas Cornelius.
Yeah, right.
He is Discording it up. Yeah.
That's right. And he is he's one who was able to play and do all that stuff and be on Discord at the same time. So think about it.
Can I ask a question before you get off games?
You sure can. After this break.
Oh, wow.
We refuse.
And we're back.
Nothing but buffoonery over here.
Episode 153, baby. The Barbie director said she is not interested in a sequel. She is an absolute zero. God, thank you.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Finally, we can have something that is good, and we allow it to be good and stay there, and we're done. We don't need another, because I fucking know. I look at the cast, I look at the reviews.
It's at $1 billion. That's how I know it's good.
Okay, it's a Barbie
but that's
movie.
not saying much. It's a Barbie brand, and there's a bunch of sheep out there that'll watch anything.
What do you mean it's not saying much? Name the last $1 billion movie besides Barbie.
I'd have to go look, so give me a chance.
Is it Mario?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
You didn't say Google it. You gotta
Wasn't Mario $1 billion movie?
Yes, it was. And how amazing was that?
I mean, it was spectacular. We watch it like 15 times a week. But that's
Top
but
Gun
back to her comments, I
movie.
appreciate the fact that she's not willing to jump right into a sequel
that was
day
the face.
one.
And not that anybody listening to audio could see the face, but that was the face. Because when you said that, I was like, why are we clapping about it? Is it because you don't want anything further? Or is it because we're appreciating the fact that she's like, okay with, we got it. It's good. We're done. We're moving on. We're not expanding on this nonsense.
If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you'll know that one of my absolute favorite comedies of all time is Coming to America. I love that movie.
So good.
Still
I
not
could
seeing
watch
the
it
sequel to this
anytime,
day.
and I will never even watch the opening credits to the sequel because the first one is perfect.
It's like Titanic 2.
It's like Titanic 2. This time it's personal. Or
The iceberg was out to get us.
what's the other one? Hangover 2. I have no interest because Hangover was so good. Leave
Dumb and Dumber
things alone. Yeah, I've seen Dumb and Dumber 2 because I was working at a place that had it on. But long story short, I will not go out of my way to see these movies sequels when they're so freaking good, unless the story is originally made to be a continuation and further the story.
And I can tell you too, I am the only one disclaimer, I'm the only one in the room that has seen the Barbie movie. It does not call for anything else
so far.
I ain't watching that shit. If there is going to be another Barbie movie, it just needs to be like from another point of view, because that makes total sense to have another Barbie point of view movie. It does. Now, not necessarily because of the way this one was written, but that's beside the point.
Okay, overall thoughts. Good, not good?
It wasn't bad. There was a lot of nostalgia there. There was a lot of like...
You went with Mackenzie.
I did. I went with my younger sister, so that was super fun. Just the two of us. There were a lot of people dressed like Barbies. They didn't all look like
I've actually been reading that a lot of people go dressed as Barbie. It's
I wore
oh boy.
Stop it. I wore a pink Barbie shirt and some like cute platform
What do you mean that not a lot of people
She meant some of them look like Barbie and some of them look like Vienna sausages.
Oh
some of them look like Barbie, some of them look like Skipper, some of them look like Weird Barbie, which are all characters in the movie.
Weird.
I didn't know Mattel made a Lizzo model.
Oh
no.
Oh,
that's not it. Skipper
hey, after the recent never mind.
Babysitter. Anyway, I think I don't know. Don't come at me.
They're actually releasing a weird Barbie doll.
They are.
Speaking of which,
who was played by a phenomenal actress from Saturday Night Live.
I can't remember.
She is amazing.
She is hilarious, and she was the perfect cast for that. Just
sure.
I liked it. I thought that it was cute. I think, it was a little weird. Ken makes it a little weird.
That's perfect. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I like.
That was the point. That was the point of him.
I honestly think that all three of you really would truly love it, because it is very like women power, because that's what Barbie was supposed to do.
Right.
It was supposed to instill like strength in women and young girls, and like you can do whatever you want. And that's why like they came out with like astronaut Barbie, and it wasn't just like all the Barbies from the 50s and 60s that are all like dressed in these gowns and stupid shit.
Right.
It's like there's astronaut Barbie and Dr. Barbie, and you can do whatever you want. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Ken gets very confused.
I love that. And
Ken gets confused.
Ken gets very confused.
Barbies back then were just kind of this symbol of feminism and empowering women.
Empowering young girls.
Now you're looking at girls now and you're like, you know what? You could even wear geared hardware. The rugged yet stylish the perfect accessory for any man who's always on the go.
I was actually
whether it's a board meeting or a bar fight, made with high quality pink materials and backed up by a lifetime Barbie warranty. You can rest assured that your geared watch will be there for you when you need it most. Go to www.gearedhardware.com and use promo code AlterEgo20 to get 20% off your order.
Ken gets confused, huh?
Well, I mean, he's not wrong, but he does, because Ken is Ken in Barbie world.
Let's not hold on to that particular portion too long.
Emily Blunt says she's ready for Edge of Tomorrow too.
How dare you? I was on the we have things to talk about with Barbie.
We
not a lot.
Let's hear it.
Never mind.
The guy who played Viserys in Game of Thrones was inconsolable after he saw what they did with the Rush series finale.
The whole world.
He seems like a dramatic individual to begin with, so I can see that.
The actor.
He was really good in Suits too, by the way.
Was he in Suits?
He was really.
Which side of the desk is he on in the previews?
He's one of the guys that they merge with. And then they burn, yeah, and then they burn him down.
Cool.
It's good.
Suits is actually a really good show. I love Suits.
Boom! What's up?
Yeah, Suits is a great show.
Let's end the show. It gets weird.
Yeah. HBO Max lost 1.8 million subscribers over switching it to Max.
Can I have my moment of I need to vent about this, because I was super frustrated about this when it happened?
30 seconds.
Okay. So I'm not gonna lie. This actually happened. I don't care how dumb it sounds. I came downstairs into my man cave one night. I flipped down all my TVs. I had Xbox on one, a couple baseball games on another. I was gonna throw on a movie on HBO Max on one of my TVs, and I could not access the app. I kept clicking on HBO Max. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't load. Then all of a sudden, a prompt popped up and said, download a new app. Why, I ask? Why must I download a new app? It better have great features. It better be user-friendly. It better give me all the titles that I want up front immediately. It didn't! It didn't, I tell you.
Is 30 seconds over?
No.
Keep going. He's got time. Keep it going, man. Burn him down.
It was literally the exact same thing. I had to download a new app, sign into it with the same password. It was the same thing.
I wanted to give you more time because that was so like eloquent and passionate, and I was impressed. But time's over.
My thing with HBO,
like, why do we have to download new things?
Right?
Because they lost content in movies.
This was them trying to do a rebrand and not be tied to HBO anymore. They just wanted this to be another streaming service. But I think the fatal flaw here is there are so many streaming services. You gave 1.8 million people the perfect reason to not re-up with you. They look
to go to another one. Yep.
You know what? Do we watch anything on HBO Max? Game of Thrones? That was trash. I mean, any big show, Westworld, that's over.
Last of Us.
But now they've just got Last of Us on HBO.
Did we lose South Park? We didn't lose South Park.
No, it's still on Max, but
we're still going to
on
spend
Max, yeah.
however much.
The House of the Dragon's not bad.
The thing is that there's not enough. And it's one of those things. It's another thing that you're paying for. It's like when you're asking somebody, do you want to add an extra XYZ for $1? No, I don't. Just move on. So you gave them an opportunity to get rid of Max, and they did.
Has anybody seen Twisted Metal yet? Have you watched it?
I would like to, but it's on Paramount Plus, so I'm not watching it.
Peacock.
Okay.
I don't have
It's on Peacock. Yeah, I have Peacock. Listen, I will die on this hill. Peacock is the best streaming service that exists.
So I've heard good things about Peacock too,
really
and The Office is on the Peacock.
Twisted Metal.
The Office, King of Queens, Everybody Loves Raymond.
I heard.
So yes, no,
1 out of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard their depiction of Sweet Tooth is really good.
Don't you ever in your life speak poorly about King of Queens again, ever.
I will do as I please because it's a sitcom where people laugh.
Ever.
And for some reason, I've married somebody who's ruined that for me. But I love The Office, so that's enough.
That's
King
me.
of Queens, no thank you.
If it's got timed laughter, if I know in 3, 2, 1 there's going to be a punchline and they're going to play laughter, you have lost me already.
Yeah, I will laugh when I want to laugh, damn it.
Yeah, I will laugh when it's
Do not
funny.
tell me when it's time to laugh.
Let's move on to this new and just shocking and very upsetting piece of information regarding the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Their movie rating just came out for the new one, Mutant Mayhem. I'm very excited for this. I'm excited for the rating. It looks good.
Like the art, I think it looks very cool and different. It does look very cool and different.
And we talked about this a little bit last week. We know they're getting another sequel movie. We know they're getting a series on Prime or whatever it is. And I'm super excited for all of that. But the disrespect that was paid to the previous movies by these ratings is just, it's appalling and it's gross.
Explain.
I'm going to go through how these movies are rated and what percentage out of 100 they were given.
All the Ninja Turtle Mutant Turtles?
Yes, all
I don't know what I was just about to say, but you get it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time got a 19%.
What?
Rightfully so.
Oh, the movie?
You be quiet.
Are we talking about the movie?
Yeah.
Turtles in Time was awful.
A little low.
Watch it again. Watch it again and look deeper.
It actually holds up too.
Deeper into your soul.
It
holds up to what? Other stories of turtles going back in time?
No shit. It's one of one, man. It's a good movie.
It was a new
Okay,
theory.
so the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. This is the Johnny Knoxville vehicle where the best thing about it was Splinter and Mikey. Actually, Donatello was depicted pretty well. That one got a 21%.
Turtles in Time is definitely better than that.
Yeah. I agree, actually. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, 35%. 35%.
That's crazy.
This hand will fit firmly across your face if you disrespect Secret of the Ooze in my presence.
Secret of the Ooze is the best one in the entire franchise. I haven't seen the new one.
That's incorrect, but
Toka
okay.
and Razor, and that's Go Ninja,
Yep.
right?
Go
my
Ninja,
God.
the Ninja Rep. And Kevin Nash plays Shredder in that movie, if you don't know that.
Casey Jones.
Yes.
Kevin Nash.
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones was in the
show
first
up
one.
in Turtles
Oh,
2.
no, that's one.
Yeah, he was in the first one.
TMNT, the animated feature with Kevin Smith in it, actually. That is a phenomenal movie. It's one that I've watched probably a billion times.
Yeah.
I have to check that out. I haven't seen it.
36%.
36%. That's trash.
So that one, in the beginning of that one, Leonardo has already abandoned the turtles to go off and train in South America. And he's like some ghost in the shell out there. They have to go out there and find him because he's out there beating the shit out of cartels in the jungle. It's kind of dope.
That's actually sick.
It's very sick.
Teenage Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, the one with Bebop and Rocksteady. This is part of the Johnny Knox. This is when Johnny Knoxville officially was out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He only did the first one. He did not do the second one.
He didn't return.
Voice acting for Leo was more appropriate for Leo. I won't say better because Knoxville actually does a pretty decent job in everything that he puts his mind to, but I thought it was not a Leo. 37%. Here's the biggest travesty of them all. Folks, please do not start to riot. Do not set your cars on fire. Don't quit your jobs.
Do not start a Discord argument.
Don't commit acts of violence over this, as I already have. And there's no evidence. You'll never catch me. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got 42%.
Fire.
It deserves a higher score. It does. It deserves a higher score. It's not the best in the franchise. It deserves a higher score.
It is
not
the best in the franchise.
It's not.
Tell us which one then. Which one?
Which one?
Two. Secrets of the Ooze. It's not even debatable. I don't even know why we're debating it. It's not debatable.
The first scene with the pizza guy.
Yes!
Like, come on, what are you talking about?
Got 30 seconds.
That's the first one. That's the one that deserves the love.
That's what I'm saying.
What are you talking about? Pizza guy, a Secret of the Ooze.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So hold on. You're arguing two different things. You guys are arguing that iconic pizza dude's got 30 seconds. That's
yes. I thought you meant
actually has a pizza dude fighting people in a laundromat.
Okay. Yeah, Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds. Yes, that's
he's got the 80s Domino's pizza box. That's pure nostalgia for me.
Where the hell is 122 and an eighth? I mean, it truly is the best of all of them. It really is the first one. I'm sorry. The story and everything, it's just better. Mutant Mayhem has come in at 97%.
So
I also liked how the turtles.
Here's my question: is there a paradigm shift culturally, generationally that is giving this score such a high fucking number?
Here's something that I want to talk a little bit about this before we go into it. But go ahead, say what you have to say.
I was just going to say, and I'm not going to dive into it too much, but that's why I have a feeling that this movie is very like currently cultural, like
okay,
like woke, like, you know what I mean, like that whole thing that's happening right now. It makes me think that is very heavy because that's the current culture, so that's what the current ratings are going to follow. So it's a little concerning that it's going to be very like
may I disagree with that?
Sure.
Just very quickly.
I haven't seen the movies. Absolutely.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that particular viewpoint is no. What I'm saying is I don't think you're going to have a 97% approval rating if that were a problem with the movie.
No, but it's
97% is 97% is a lot.
It is a lot, and I'm hoping that I'm kind of wrong. But a part of me just thinks that people these days are voting and ranking and that sort of thing based on cultural concerns. They
not
really
97% of people
do not because it's true.
Okay, here's the thing that I was going to say. We all know that Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales has been wildly popular.
Fair.
Same kind of animation style.
Fair.
This is also somebody named Seth Rogen, who is one of those cultural icons who has dove into this movie. And not only that, he has brought a star-studded cast to all of these nostalgic characters. Now, this could all play into one big super wave that makes this movie really, really amazing. But one thing that I heard Seth Rogen talking about is first movie he ever made, Superbad. It's a teenage movie There have been other sites that have ranked that the funniest movie of all time.
Not bad.
But I'm just saying this is one of those other independent opinions, not saying that I necessarily agree, but he's saying that he loves teenage movies. He loves that genre, that sense of humor, that kind of stuff. And he said that is the one thing. And he kind of shocked me when he said this, because he's absolutely right. This is the one time it is focused on the teenage portion of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So that's why I said that I was hoping that I was wrong, especially because you brought up the Spider-Verse, which is an excellent point. It's something very different than what we're used to seeing.
Right.
Yes, it's still the same characters. Yes, it's still the same premise. However, the artistry that goes into this movie, it's absolutely, like, I saw the trailer at the Barbie movie. Like, it's art.
Yeah.
It's literally art on screen, which is exactly how probably 90% of people that love Spider-Verse feels about Spider-Verse. It's literally just art in movie form. Not that all movies aren't art form, but you get what I'm saying. It's literally as if like Canvas became a movie. It's insanely beautiful. So I think that has a lot of drive into our current art right now, and our current like digital capabilities is what this movie is going to show us on screen.
And another thing about that movie is that, they're focusing on the teenage story. And I think that it's parallel to what James Gunn is saying about superhero movies. People more often than not are used to showing up to a Turtles movie and just watching them be ninjas and kick people's asses, and adding that factor of them being adolescents and looking for acceptance and being teenagers and doing things that are stupid and having consequences and making it a more relatable story is probably what's really driving a lot of this emotion, because we can go watch any movie and watch people get their ass kicked. That's just the thing. Yeah. So if you're just going to come up with new cool ways for my favorite Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo, to beat everyone's ass, then cool. But I still don't, that's not going to drive me as much as a real story, right? Like something that actually happens, like the points that get you.
The first Ninja Turtles movie actually had a story from start to finish.
Right. When Raphael is abandoning everybody and he goes out and he gets his ass kicked and the whole team is not right without him. They feel so guilty that they've not listened to him. They've let him down. Leonardo's in there in the tub with him crying every day because his brother won't get up.
Cricket?
I mean,
they're hiding. Yeah.
Cricket?
Yeah.
He just hits him with that cricket bat.
It's just there's a lot of story that makes these characters so much better than the fact that they kick ass. And I'm hoping, because I really cannot wait to see this movie. I hope that it's all that and more.
But to expound on your point too, it's when you're watching a movie that's been rebooted 3, 4, 5 times, you don't want to go and sit in a theater and watch the same thing 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah,
you want to see a story. You want to see development. So you're 100% right. Like, let me see something interesting with these characters. I don't want to see them beat the shit out of people again for the 5th time.
And we're not even talking about the hundreds and hundreds of TV episodes involving these characters. Yeah. So you really got to come with something new and different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Can you tell I love my Ninja Turtles, man? I think this movie's going to be killer.
Cowabunga.
You only get one. You only get one per movie.
Oh, never mind. They're primo. They're out there in the VIP section.
That's right. My Ninja Turtles are out by my desk and all that kind of stuff. Let's go into a little bit. We want to have a discussion. I feel bad because in the actual episode 153, Ryan, Nello, and I talked at length about this topic. By the way, before we go into that, we did a contest. Ryan's not here for it now, but we were trying to see how many web pages he had opened.
Tabs. How many tabs?
They may have quadrupled since we first did this.
Tabs that he has had open, I think, came in at like 63,
64, I thought.
Or 60,
73. I thought it was 73.
It's 64, I think.
Our closest was Ashley DeBella. Congratulations, Ashley. We are sending you a shirt ASAP. Congratulations. We're hoping to do some more of these too once we get back on track here. So that being said, we want to talk a little bit about the MCU and more specifically Loki season 2 and Secret Invasion. We're already kind of going a little long here, but Secret Invasion overall, if you don't want any spoilers for it, now's the time. I'm not going to go super crazy in depth, but it doesn't, to me, deserve a super crazy in depth story.
Sadly.
Yeah.
This is your time. All right. We love you. We'll see you for episode 154, but we're about to talk about Secret Invasion and probably spoil it pretty heavily if you haven't seen it already. So,
sounds like we're going to
that being said, here we go. This definitely is one of the biggest MCU projects that has had crazy high expectations. Nick Fury's first outing as Nick Fury, and it completely shat the bed in my
It's the biggest flop in MCU history.
Was this the first like Samuel L. Jackson show too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the thing is like, this is another one where you look at the cast. Emilia Clarke, Samuel Jackson,
but he was a saving grace. All right,
he was the best.
Without that,
him, Don Cheadle, and all these stars. That's the problem.
Emilia Clarke
is all these actors are fantastic. They're so good, and they're good in their roles. The writing and the setting are just
dog shit.
So we have so many settings and scenes where we're supposed to think that the Skrulls are this big global threat to humanity in general. And there are so many scenes where you see the president by himself or with like 4 or 5 people, high stakes situations with a handful of individuals.
It's basically multiple G7 leaders.
And it does not have any time in this series where you go, oh, we're really in trouble. Oh man, these Skrulls really got us by the balls. No. You never have that feeling. As a matter of fact, part of this writing made you feel like Nick Fury, the Nick Fury you've known through all of phase 1, 2, through whatever, has been
a punk.
Sucker. He's been a punk. He's been nothing but successful off of the backs of the Skrulls that have fed him his information. And other than that, he was just somebody who had information other people didn't. And the only reason he had it was because of the Skrulls.
I mean, you telegraphed this whole show from start to finish before it even got released. I was watching it and I'm just like, holy shit, he said this. Holy shit, he said this. Oh my God. He fucking like, geez.
Yeah, it was bad, especially the reveal of the biggest Skrull that we've had being Rhodey. And okay, Rhodey's a Skrull. Then you find out he's been a Skrull since Civil War. And you're like, oh my God, look at all the stuff that Rhodey has done from Civil War on.
It makes you want to rewatch
as a Skrull.
That's a court martial.
Yeah.
Back up, Sam. You don't want to get your wings singed. All these moments, these iconic moments with Rhodey, where he is trying to, build his canopy, because his legs don't work and his suit.
Well, that would have been regular. That would have been regular Rhodey. Canopy.
Canopy was Endgame.
Oh no, you're right. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought that was Civil War when he was. You're right. You're right.
Don't work. You mean to tell me that Skrull was playing the role that hard? I don't think so. This one was just clunky. And the big reveal.
I haven't even seen this movie, I haven't even seen Secret Invasion. I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And my question was,
when you told me that, I was like, I literally did kind of the rewind and was like. Yeah. This is a little weird. Yeah. Like there's a lot of times that I couldn't really mentally keep up with it. And I was like and of course I didn't know if there was a lot within Secret Invasion that was like, it was necessary that he played the role and everybody thought that he was. No. And so like, I didn't catch that from what you were saying, which has been minimal, but still even I, who hadn't seen it, was kind of like,
and this also,
my question is this, why pick that Rhodey?
Yeah.
Like, the thing that confuses me is this, like, why would the Skrull that became Rhodey, why would he put that much passion into being an Avenger?
Yeah.
What purpose does it serve that Skrull?
Right.
It doesn't do anything for the Skrull timeline or story.
Right.
Is that one of those things that we're eventually going to find out?
This is also Rhodey going through the quantum realm to go get stones from Morag with Nebula.
Yeah.
This is the Colonel Rhodes that, you know what I mean, was like crying when Tony Stark is dying.
That was the one that got me.
And I'm just like, okay, well. So all of this is not Rhodey. Can we please say that this is something else? And not to mention, very recently, we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this big impassioned speech from Rhodes personally to Sam Wilson saying, hey, man, Don't let the shield go. It means something. You've got to keep this and keep the shield and represent us. We appreciate you, and all that is supposed to be coming from a female Skrull.
Right. That would be like,
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't
that
make
would be like
any
a really
sense.
impactful like Thor Loki moment, and then we find like,
but if you
this
think
is not-
double agents, they're supposed to convince you that they're on your
But why? But that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but-
Why would you put that
had to
much passion
infiltrate-
into it?
he had
Like
to
for what?
He had to infiltrate the Avengers. Then he had to infiltrate the government. Then he
So
had
that
to.
just
You know what I mean?
diminishes all of it.
But at the end of the point that I'm making is Falcon and Winter Soldier is after the blip is everybody's back. This is after everything's over with. This is when everything's done. So what double agent nefarious purpose could this Skrull have had for giving an impassioned speech to a young Black Avenger about how important it was for him to be a symbol when there's literally no gain for Rhodey in it?
Because maybe he's thinking that if he keeps the shield, Winter Falcon, whatever, doesn't really have powers. It's the suit.
So that's burying it even deeper, because all the Skrull's purpose was to find this harvest, to find all the powers of everybody, which didn't even fucking make sense.
Such an amazing.
We're also talking about the course of what, 8 to almost 10 years.
Right.
So we're just supposed to believe that this Skrull adopted Rhodey's lifestyle for nearly a decade and just lived that life. That was it. He was just Rhodey then.
But when he's in his own house or apartment, make macaroni and cheese, he's certainly not in Rhodey's.
How many times
body.
has that Skrull seen Tony Stark naked doing weird stuff?
What?
Ooh.
Stark is a partier and Rhodey's his best buddy.
Okay.
How many times has he seen?
Hopefully a lot. Hopefully a lot. Hopefully a lot.
I don't know. It's just clunky, man. And there's really
it seems unnecessary that it was that it was like that far back in time.
Let's agree. The first 2 episodes were really good.
It
starts out great.
They were meant to set you up for something great.
They were suspenseful, but the reason why they're not great is because they were wasted.
Right.
Yeah, because
in hindsight, they were wasted.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem.
That final battle between the 2 Super Skrulls, like we were talking about last week, he just
worst MCU battle of all time.
So we've got the Extremis from Iron Man 2, where you can re-heal any issue that you've got, no problem. We've got what do we get? We had Hulk,
Mantis,
we had Mantis, but my biggest complaint was we had Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's just a woman, but she's gotten these powers from the Tesseract. That's where she draws her power. But if you get her DNA, essentially you just get her. How does this Skrull get to channel the powers of the Tesseract? And first and foremost, all these characters that have these abilities have honed them over years and years and years. And these Skrulls just get this hodgepodge of genes thrown in them, and all of a sudden experts.
Wouldn't the Skrulls had been able to take over the world if that was the case?
Yeah.
That's like a mimic in Pokemon.
But they didn't get it. They didn't get it until Fury gave it to them.
Yeah.
They didn't
that's the point, Nello. They have the DNA of several dozen of the most powerful people in the universe, and then within 30 seconds of having that power, they all of a sudden know how to master all of their abilities.
For the record, Gravik already had Groot's power, so he could have essentially done that. He had already gone through some sort of transformation.
Yeah, but that
and so did Emilia Clarke. That's how she survived the first blast.
She had Extremis.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, she had Extremis. Yeah. But how did they know how to use Captain Marvel's powers?
Right. How do they know to touch somebody and go sleep, and they go to sleep? How do you know that?
Because they knew the DNA profile of what he knew what he was looking for.
See, Mantis maybe, because that it is a genetic thing. I feel like her powers are a little bit more like, I don't know. No, don't shake your head at me. Carol Danvers is a completely different situation. She was not born with that shit. She inherited that shit. So that's a completely, and again, I'm kind of speaking out of turn because I didn't see the show, but this is a safe space for me to say this because I haven't seen the show. So now I'm arguing all the people. Did you say Groot? Did Groot was a Skrull? Fuck off.
No.
Skrulls had the Super Skrull had his powers.
His DNA, and we're using his powers. They could all of a sudden turn into a tree
before they.
So this is the argument that we're making right now. There's a scene at the end in the very last episode where they go through the process of gaining the powers again. It's a second time where they go through the Super Skrull power process, where they absorb the DNA of all of these people, and literally within 60 seconds of absorbing these powers, they're all of a sudden masters of every single one of these powers.
That seems too OP to end in 8 episodes.
That's exactly what it was.
Not to mention they fight
silly goose. That's silly goose.
They
stuff.
fight for 30 seconds, and then Gaia, who's Emilia Clarke's, who clearly, can we just talk about the fact that Emilia Clarke clearly had a clause in her contract that said they are not putting any Skrull makeup on her whatsoever?
Yes. Yeah.
She's maybe a Skrull for what, 10 seconds?
7 seconds. 7 seconds.
2 or 3 scenes. And I'm just like, okay, so at the end, she blasts Gravik with the little photon blast from Captain Marvel right through the chest, and he dies.
Well, you don't know if
he's got extremis. He got shot in the face. He didn't die then. He's got all kinds of stuff that's happened, but all of a sudden, this photon blast, that's the one.
That's the ticket.
I don't get it. It just was so clunky and bad. And it wasn't, to me, it wasn't about Nick Fury. He's in it a lot, but what does he really do? Let's ask about that. What does he do coming down to Earth? What does he do at all to change the outcome?
I did like the fact that Gravik said, I was good enough to go around doing your dirty work, but now you don't want me doing my own. Because when him and Fury talked, he's like, I was good enough to become your errand boy and your assassin when you needed me. And then you just left us here and you didn't give us a planet like you promised. You basically used us.
And they don't really go over that. I mean, they talk about it briefly about, oh, me and Carol Danvers went, and then we realized we weren't going to be able to find you a planet.
You know, the most hypocritical shit about the show is the fact that Emilia Clarke's character is the one that argued about being in her own skin the most.
And she never is.
And she literally never is in her own skin throughout the entire show.
That's her own thing. I want a home in my own skin.
That the scene where they're
show us
the president.
Show us.
Where they have the motorcade with the Hellfire.
I mean, that was good for like
it was
action,
a decent,
but then
it was a decent scene.
He saves the president, and you think it's like, okay, this is going to be cool. And then the president essentially puts out a hit video saying, "Hey, Skrulls, we know how to find you now, and we're going to kill you if you don't come forward." I was like, who is this guy?
Well, not only that, but let me ask you this question. The president of the United States of America is attacked, and one man brings him to the hospital?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that the entire military force of the nation isn't going to get him?
Yeah. I mean, that was
Nick Fury sitting on a stool with a pistol.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. They blew up
come on, bro.
Oh, it's so true.
They blew up a major metropolitan Russian city. If that would have happened in real life, the Russians would be flatlining something.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is the scale was never there. Because there are many situations where the president is going, "Give me a gun, God damn it! Who the fuck are you?" Sorry, I'm sorry. It's just the writing in this was so bad, and it just drove me absolutely crazy. In that scene where Nick Fury is like, "Hey, Mr. President, Rhodes is a Skrull. Remember that I said that Rhodes is a Skrull," and pushes him through the door, pulls a stool out, pulls out a gun, and sits there. I was like, "What?"
No way.
And then the Skrull who plays Rhodes lets him walk away.
Yeah.
He was getting arrested.
Why would he let him walk away? That's the guy you're trying to kill the entire series. You just let him walk out of the fucking hospital?
I also didn't like how Talos died, too. I thought that was a bitch way
Me
to die.
too. I agree.
Yeah, 100%. 100%
so let's
right.
talk about this because we are going long. Let's talk about Loki and its impact on the MCU going forward. Because as of right now, the way things are looking, they just look bad. And Loki, the trailer, looked better than 90% of the shows that they have put out, in my opinion.
The most watched trailer.
The trailer looks so good. It looks well done. It's got the polish. It's got Tom freaking Hiddleston, who is just... I'm so glad he never got cast as Thor. I'm so glad. Yeah. The entire world is better for the fact that Tom Hiddleston got Loki, because he is definitely bringing it on here.
We have talked about that before.
I had a
Hiddleston interview or auditioned for Thor.
Yeah.
I just hope that it's one of those scenarios where the trailer is excellent, and because I felt like Secret Invasion was the same way. Secret Wars. I would be so sad.
Secret Invasion, they showed a lot of the good parts, and none of it was pretty accurate to what was actually happening
They
don't want
can't
that to
miss with
happen.
Loki too, is what you're saying. If they miss with
that
Loki,
was my bold prediction right there.
panic button, right?
My bold prediction is that if Loki 2 fails, the MCU will no longer exist.
I'm gonna
right.
say that's a little bold
Not
of
all
a prediction,
geese,
but you
bro.
said
Well,
it.
here it'll be the start of the start of the end for the
It might not
MCU
be
if
the start of the
Loki 2 fails.
It might not be the start of the end, but it might be the start of the end of all of the series that they've been releasing.
Sure.
Because if this show fails, then there isn't going to be one that's going to do well.
You're never gonna.
If you think about it, when we first got word of this series that were coming out, when Disney Plus said, "Hey, listen, you're not just going to get movies, you're going to get TV shows." What were the first couple TV shows we got? We got Wanda,
Loki,
right?
Perfect.
We got Loki. They
Winter
were
Falcon.
brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. Then the
got
more
Miss
they started
Marvel.
coming out, the more they started going downhill and going
after
downhill.
Hawkeye, it was
After
a
Hawkeye, it
steep
was
drop
a
off.
steep fall.
Yes.
But you're
So
also talking about second tier characters who the stories are
second tier characters.
Miss Marvel's
So-
a second tier character. She-Hulk, second tier character. Daredevil was good.
I'm not going to.
Where in what universe is She-Hulk a second tier character?
I mean, I'm just telling you,
So,
she's a second year.
I'm not gonna argue whether he's right or wrong, but to the point that they weren't characters like Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America, even Hawkeye. The list just continues. Black Widow, because I don't want to forget the girl. It's a joke in the house here, but
Yeah.
But you gotta start somewhere though. That's the
right,
thing. You
but
gotta
the
start
problem is
somewhere.
you're starting with a Netflix series, which I understand. You get a little bit more TV time. You're not starting with blockbuster movies. You're not giving them blockbuster movies to develop some sort of core initial effect out into the world, and you're starting them with with Disney Plus series that people aren't going to get to go to the movies to see, because sometimes that's just what people do. They go to the movies to see this shit happen. They don't sit on their couch and watch TV shows.
I think
weekly.
what this is we are the test audience on a broad scale for a lot of these characters, because they weren't going to invest blockbuster money in something that
Right.
could possibly fail. So they'd rather put it on Disney Plus and hype it to death and then see, how hot the water is after that show is released. But I still think, I mean, hey, your lack of knowledge about She-Hulk is your own business, but she's certainly not a second tier character
She's not
in any
she's not at all.
regard.
No, but to people
But-
who don't understand She-Hulk, she is officially a second tier character. And
But
that's-
I disagree with you. I disagree with you
That's
to a
good.
certain point where people don't want to watch, on TV. I disagree with that, because if the writing is there, the television series could be a smash hit. If you look at The Last of Us, if you look at Game of Thrones,
Fair.
if you look at Sopranos, if you look at all of these all-time television series, if the writing is there, it doesn't matter what the source content is.
But
You
you
could have
have to
taken
work.
a Miss Marvel, you could have taken a She-Hulk and made it an S tier character in the MCU with great writing, great production.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree, but I think
That's why I think Loki is the make or break for the MCU right now.
and I can understand that too, because he was a heavily established character in the first how many years was it? Did we confirm 11 years of
Oh
MC
yeah.
at
yeah.
least? Was it 2012 that Iron Man came out, the first one, or earlier
2008.
even, a long
2008, yeah.
time ago. So he is basically what's remaining, especially from a villain, and what's currently going on right now. So I have to agree with you, but I am agreeing with Nella's point that unfortunately, to the standard world, She-Hulk is a second grade character because of the way that she was displayed.
Loki 2 is make or break, because Kang at the end this show is supposed to lead off to Kang's Secret Wars and so on and so
Kang
forth.
being the Thanos of the next 12 years of our lives.
I don't want to call him Thanos, but let's call him the main
I think-
villain.
I'm just comparing him
The
to
equivalent,
the first
equivalent of Thanos.
right,
Nello.
the equivalent, the big
No,
bad.
I know what
forever.
she was saying.
Yeah.
I think Kang could end up being much worse. He really could.
He could.
I do. I agree with
I
that 100%.
Maybe not as
We've talked about that.
terrifying,
We've talked
but
about
what
that.
he's
Right.
capable of because of time alone is enough to be like.
I don't know. He's pretty terrifying in Ant-Man.
No, he is scary. That's true, but that's not the point. The fact that he can move through time is bizarre.
Well, she's 1,000% right, because if you look at Thanos, he didn't have an impact on the multiverse.
Right.
He had an impact on that one universe. Kang
One
has an
group-
impact on every universe that
Every
exists in
single
Marvel.
timeline to ever exist in Marvel. Yep.
Yeah.
So what he's capable of doing is astronomical.
He could be bigger than Thanos for sure.
Yes.
and however many versions of him that are out there
Exactly.
that are all kind of having that one nefarious purpose through the Council of Kangs. That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah. Cray.
But you know what? Doctor Doom could save the MCU too.
He could.
So
He could.
Isn't that crazy?
Guess what kind of face I would make if Dr. Doom showed up? This is the kind of face.
Episode 154. Guys, check us out. Facebook, all that kind of stuff. 153. Sorry, 153. Yes, sorry. Congratulations to Ashley. My big, bold prediction for Loki season 2 is that we will see one Merc with one mouth.
Merc with a mouth.
I think Mr. Deadpool is going to make a cameo at the very end. He's going to have a snide comment. He's going to kill Mobius or something.
Do we get a silver
in Loki too? I don't think so. I think they're going to stay in their lane, and Mr. Reynolds is long overdue for having his face in the MCU. And Loki being in Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 3, come on, man! Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Jack, Rhino, Nello, Miss Megan is back. Hey! All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you around, gang.
See you.
Ciao.